Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kujobaka. And look now at our stories. Pressure is mounting on government to channel resources and efforts meant for the 40th Farmers' Day celebration to tackle galamsey and strengthen agricultural interventions. That's the call by the Peasant Farmers Association. According to them, government's slow and ineffective response to the galamsey crisis suggests a lack of genuine concern for farmers' struggles and the well-being of Ghanaians in general. Illegal mining has devastated farmlands nationwide, with over 2 million peasant farmers displaced and countless farms destroyed due to galamsey activities. Let's bring in the program's officer of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana, Bismarck Norte, as he joins us via phone for some conversation on the back of the Farmers' Day celebration. Thanks so much, Mr. Norte, for joining us on Business Live. And this is the call we are making to government on the occasion of the 40th edition of the Farmers' Day celebration to tackle galamsey and, of course, strengthen agricultural interventions, you say. Why so?
Yeah, thank you very much, and good evening to your viewers, and also happy Farmers' Day to all our farmers. I'm also the acting executive director, and not the program officer, so just a quick correction. Yeah, so on the occasion of the Farmers' Day, we actually joined hands to congratulate all our farmers across the country. Indeed, we agree that as a nation needs to honor its youth, and if you look at the work that farmers do for the country, it is in place if there are events to ensure that these farmers are rightly awarded. However, we are a bit perplexed as to the demeanor and the approach of government in dealing with the crisis that farmers are facing when they turn around to celebrate these same people that they are not addressing their challenges. You know, in the first place, we have been saddled with a lot of issues that have been affecting farmers over the years, and that has been the bane of successive government. So issues around access to inputs, which are now very expensive, issues around inadequate access to mechanization centers, issues around our poor and inadequate irrigation facilities. So these are perennial issues that we always deal with. But over the past year, there have been several additional issues that have also compounded the misery of our farmers. And one key issue has been the issue of illegal mining, which has strengthened and is also destroying the livelihoods of our members across the country, especially in areas where they do mining. And we were expected that government should have taken a much more radical stance to combat this illegal mining that is devastating our farms. But unfortunately, the approach and the gesture by government on fighting illegal mining is something that is not commendable. If you look at the measures they announced and look at what is currently ongoing on our farms, it's something that is mind-boggling. Currently, there are a lot of water bodies that are still destroyed by illegal mining and have still been polluted. So government is not showing commitment in fighting illegal mining. So if you are not fighting illegal mining, which is affecting our farmers, then you turn around and you celebrate farmers. Then it means that you are not even sincere to the plight of these people. So that's one issue that we face. The second issue that is of concern to us as we celebrate farmers today is even the issue about the PFAG 2.0, which is a major government flagship program that is supposed to benefit farmers across the country. That program, unfortunately, has been so poorly implemented. The beneficiaries of the program do not even seem to know what the program is about. The promises that were made to us regarding how the program will be rolled out, that promise has not been fulfilled. So we are a bit taken aback that if there are constraints, why don't we channel our energies? Why don't we channel our resources to address these constraints that are limiting farmers from being more effective? But rather turn around to celebrate them as if we are actually concerned genuinely about the issues, which the evidence doesn't show that we are doing as a country. So that's why, even though we commend farmers, we feel that government should be more sensitive to the plight of farmers. When there are resources that needs to be channeled, that resources should be used to solve agricultural problems. If there are issues that are affecting farming, like galamsey, we expect a radical approach by government. We have consistently called for the state of emergency to be declared on our mining, on our water bodies, on our farmlands. That has not been done. We were saying that we want the government to show us a clear restoration and reclamation plan for all agricultural farmland that have been destroyed. There's no news to that. We wanted to see how our water bodies can be restored to where we can use them for our family purposes. That has not been done. So honestly, it is difficult to see the commitment from government on that side. So we want to see sincerity from government, not just about doing the fanfare and giving awards to people. No, there are issues that are certain. They want to see sincerity in how to tackle these particular issues.
And you would agree with me, Mr. Noti, that, well, this is a collective effort that we all have to, ensure that galamsey is tackled holistically. But I want to find out, what role can farmers play to ensure that, well, this is achieved?
For farmers, they are more or less like rational people, just like you and I. So once the farmer knows that the source of livelihoods, which is farming, that he or she is investing in, that farming is providing him or her the necessary income to sustain his family, sustain livelihoods, also have the best of living. No rational farmer will switch from that particular farming and go into any other venture, such as selling their lands for illegal miners. But unfortunately, because they are faced with this crisis, then they are being forced to give out their lands to these people, or sometimes they are being coerced to give out their lands. So on one breath, if you want to advise the farmers that do not do A, B, C, and D, do not give out your lands to these people who come to offer your lands, or find a way to keep hold of your farmland. You also have to look at the flip side. What is being done for them to motivate them to keep their lands? So on our, we are trying to educate them about the dangers and then there's the short-term benefit that they might get. But in the long term, it might have bigger effect. But you need the state to come in and play the bigger role. If the state is able to limit how people are able to move to farmlands to acquire these farmlands, I'm not sure any farmer will need to give his farmlands to any of these illegal miners. So I agree with you. It's a collective rule. But the state needs to show direction. And then when they show direction, farmers on all the stakeholders also support the state. But for now, if you don't see the state showing direction and the state showing commitment, then it's like a jungle. So everybody does what pleases him or her. And that's the situation we find ourselves in right now.
And aside galamsey, one other issue is the distribution of relief packages of affected farmers, I should say, in the 8 regions as a result of the dry spell. And you say, well, there has been no visible progress as thousands of farmers remain uncertain about this initiative. And I'm wondering why so?
Absolutely. So if you recall, after the dry spell, the ministry came to announce measures to provide some relief to the farmers in affected regions. Since then, we had an announcement by the ministry that from the 10th of October, that was just about a month ago, the ministry was going to start the distribution of relief items to affected farmers. So in that regard, farmers across the 8 regions were encouraged, one, to go and register on the Ghana Agricultural and Agribusiness Platform app. Once they register, they will have their farms mapped, meaning you have an extension officer who has to visit your farm and then map your farm onto the system. So once you register as a farmer and you have your farms mapped, then it means that you've qualified to benefit from relief items. Now, as I'm talking to you, since 10th October, there have been farmers who have gone to register. They've registered on the app, but they've not had their farms mapped. In fact, the data we have shows that even less than 30% of farmers who have registered have had their farms mapped. And the information is that if you don't have your farms mapped, you can't benefit. The failure to have their farms mapped has nothing to do with the farmer, but the fact that they have limited extension officers who are not able to move to all the farms to map their farms. So now a lot of farmers are in the dark because they've registered, but they don't have their farms mapped. Others too are not encouraged to register because they feel the whole process is time wasted. Even for those who have had their farms mapped, up to now, they are not sure when the relief items are coming because they were promised fertilizers and then climate-smart input varieties like early maturing seeds or drought-resistant seeds that can help them mitigate the effect of climate change.
All right,
as of now, if you need to engage the respective agri-directors, they are at sea. They don't even know when the items are coming for them to start to the farmers.
We shall follow up. On that with the Agri Ministry for for more on that subsequently. But let's shift focus to some other stories. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has officially launched Ghana's credit score system aimed at transforming Ghana's financial ecosystem by providing lenders with adequate and reliable data on borrowers. The Vice President, in his address, said the new system will reduce the rate of non-performing loans and improve equal access to the financial market.
From the My Credit Score pilot, demonstrate a stark improvement, achieving an NPL ratio of less than 4%, a remarkable contrast to the national average. By enabling a fairer and more consistent evaluation of credit worthiness, My Credit Score is expected to reduce defaults significantly, strengthen confidence among financial institutions, and expand access to credit for individuals and businesses alike. The initiative reflects a broader commitment to sustainable economic growth, where financial stability and trust in credit practices play foundational roles.
Joining us via Zoom for some quick conversation on the back of this is a senior finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amoah. Thanks so much, Dr. Amoah, for agreeing to speak to us on Business Life, and good to see you. Your initial thoughts about this launch of Ghana's credit score system?
Thank you. It is a good initiative and a good addition to our financial services sector in terms of the resources or the tool set we need, most especially in the area of credit or loans. We have heard time and time again that access to credit and making use of credit is good. And indeed, for all the developed economies, credit and availability of credit have been used and used extensively. So if we are getting to a point in time where we have a support service by way of credit scoring to make access to credit more easy and cheaper than it used to be, then it is a good thing that we all have to embrace. But it is just the form, because if you look at our traditional setting, over time we've traditionally had a way of providing credit. So it is just the form that it has taken now, and the fact that this is going to have a bigger reach or a far-reaching effect than the traditional system that we used to have at our workplaces, where we buy items on credit and then we pay over time. This one is different. You can go by yourself, and the reach is far wider than the traditional system that we have used.
And that leads me to my next question. Really, do you get the sense that it will indeed transform Ghana's financial economy by providing lenders with adequate and, of course, reliable data on borrowers? Do you think so?
Yes, it will. It will be an addition to the layer of information that lenders have. We shouldn't forget we have the credit referencing bureaus in the system, and they provide credit data, they gather financial data on individual borrowers and, of course, institutions. This credit score is another layer where individuals and businesses will also be assessed and be given a score, which is a numerical value to show their credit worthiness. And so it is going to add to the layer of information that lenders will have, and it is also going to assure the providers of credit that, yes, the individual who is requesting for the facility has what it takes to pay. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the individual will not default. It is just a way of trying to help the borrower, so the lender gauge and also to price the loan in a manner that reflects the riskiness of the potential borrower.
And a bit about the rate of non-performing loans. Do you also get the sense that it will indeed reduce non-performing loans in our banks and, of course, improve the quality access to the financial market?
The non-performing loans and loan rates are very much macro in nature. You know, if the macro economy is not working very well and you have MPC rate of 27, if you have banks or Ghana reference rate of 29 thereabout, definitely in a regime like this, the credit scoring system cannot all of a sudden pull down the rate for individuals or for business borrowers. if you really, really want to work on the rate, then it's the macro side that have to be tackled to pull down the rate. What we are going to see will just be marginal declines in rate, because there's a bigger force that is pulling the rates and not the credit score. So it is good we have credit scoring, which will help provide access and take away the issue of loan discrimination, where individuals without credit history may not have access to credit.
All right.
It will also help the mortgage sector, because the mortgage sector can have something to fall on. The insurance sector can also use the credit score. Consumer credit can also use the credit score. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to reduce rate from current rate of, let's say, 30 to 10. No.
That's fine. Thank you so much, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, Senior Finance Lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, sharing your thoughts with us on this subject matter. You're still watching Business Live. We are back with more. To Business Live. Tax analyst Francis Timobo is urging the Ghana Revenue Authority to adopt a more engaging approach of revenue collection instead of harassing businesses. His advice follows concerns raised by former president of the Ghana Association of Banks, Alhassan Andani, describing the Ghana Revenue Authority as a hostile institution, arguing the authority has not been helpful in encouraging businesses to meet their tax obligations. Speaking in an interview with Joy Business, Francis Timobo urged the Ghana Revenue Authority to be more innovative when it comes to tax collection.
So far, the reports we have received it is something that may be true. I have not conducted any research like that, but you have people like Yofi Grant, who is the CEO of JIPC, coming to tell the public that he has foreign investors who are saying that they don't like the way the GRA is treating them. Then it's a great concern. And we saw some time ago, which we all believed that it was going down. You remember the Kumasi importers were saying that when they get to the highway, the customs officials allowed them to offload all their containers and then reload them. These are not business-friendly approaches. So I think that if industry is really complaining, the best is to bring them together. We used to have what we call the tax dialogue, somewhere 2017, 2018, but all of a sudden the thing has disappeared. At that forum, the Ministry of Finance, the GRA, and taxpayers, and even experts, they deliberate on the best approach to raise revenue. How do we implement this law that Parliament has passed? And I think that these are some breakdowns in the tax administration system that we need to go back and pick it up so that we can ensure trust. If people know that these are the taxes they are supposed to pay and legitimately they are supposed to pay it, I don't think that they will be complaining about it. But if we adopt a more aggressive approach, it will, break down the trust. We know that there's so much pressure on GRA to bridge the deficit gap, especially in an election year. However, it needs to be done more professionally so that the taxpayers that you intend to tax, they trust the system and they will be able to comply in a more voluntary manner.
Japan Motors has announced plans to redefine driving in Ghana with production of its new models of the Geely cars from Ghana with a local touch. According to the company, this will transform the country's mobility landscape and improve road transport. There is more in this report.
Ghana's automobile landscape has seen a significant boost with the coming in of major global brands assembling in the country, thereby creating jobs for more people. Although Japan Motors has already begun assembling some of its vehicles in the country, the company is willing to produce more brands from its local assembling plant to transform driving experience in Ghana. Speaking to journalists after unveiling the 3 new models of the Geely in Accra, General Manager in charge of sales and marketing at Japan Motors, Amin Cabrera, said it will produce more of such brands to change the automotive industry.
It's going to really change the automotive industry to take it to a new level altogether. The way the new products are being equipped, are being designed, are being fit in technology that we have never seen before. And I can tell you this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We've got 3 models, one of which is the Cool-Ray, which we are going to assemble in Ghana. And this is going to be also another very, very successful model that is equipped with amazing feature. Amazing future. I really mean it.
Sales manager for Geely, Mesa Idubuabeng, disclosed that Ghanaians have accepted the Geely brand, hence its readiness to produce more with modern features.
In this modern world, you don't necessarily need to even show the vehicle to the customer. You can, everything is on the net. So they read about it, they saw the good reviews, and they started paying. So the feedback has been great. Then the reason why we settled on the Courier and also decided to assemble it right here in Ghana is, one, because of the features it came with. I mean, we share the features, but just a quick one. The icing on the cake is the automatic parking assist, which I think is the first in Ghana for such a compact vehicle. The automatic park, the vehicle can park itself once it identifies its parking slot, and you don't even have to touch the steering wheel or step on the brakes.
Thanks so much for being part of Business Life for today. I am Pius Kujobaka. We have more stories for you when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Beyond the Numbers is next.